Hey guys, my name is Jennifer and I am Genevieve Designs. Today we're going to start on the second fin of this scrapbook album. This is a printable scrapbook album template that's available in my Etsy shop, and I will have it linked down below, and it's basically amazing foundations. And we are using the light wood background design and the small stripes, but you can use one or the other. You don't have to use both if you don't want to. So the album we're currently working on is the Pretty Mosaic, and it's a paper collection by Prima, and that is what it looks like. And this is our first fin that we've done so far. So if you want to see how we got to this point, there is a playlist specifically for this album, and I will link it up here in the cards and down in the description box. So if you want to start from the beginning, feel free to go ahead and head over to that playlist and skip over the first couple videos in that playlist because it's an introduction to the templates and so on and so forth. And just for reference, this is the A size album. There's 4 sizes in this set of templates: A, B, C, and D. A is the largest, D is the smallest. So we're working on the largest album currently. And I'm trying to prep everything ahead of time to try to save time in my video. So I've done that again this time, and I will list down below in the description box all of the pages, the main base pages that I print out, and whether or not they're plain or light wood or printed onto cards or pattern paper, or whichever way I end up printing them, I will list that down in the description box below. Not the mats, or not the envelopes, the add-on photo mats or anything like that. I won't put that in the description box, just the main base pages of the set of templates. Okay, so again, we're starting on our second fin, and we are going to need two of page 7A. This is the main base page for this size album. This is what it looks like minus all of the writing. This is the guidebook that you have to put together yourself. Everything is a digital download. But you're gonna need 2 of these, and I just printed them onto plain white cardstock. This is 80-pound cardstock. I have this in my Amazon list. This specifically for this album. And so one of them, pretty sure I do it like this. One of them, I left one long tab and took 3 of the other tabs off. I scored that one tab and then put tape on one side and inked both sides. So one of them looks like this, and then the other one looks like, you gotta excuse all my little notes. I prepped these ahead of time, so I need to remember what I'm doing with them. And this one I actually messed up a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and use it because I meant to overlap my tabs so that the inserts won't get stuck on these really large pockets. But anyway, neither here nor there. Okay, so I just took one long tab off. I scored the other 3 and put tape on all 3, cut the corners, mitered the corners, and mitered the top 2 tabs. So this is going to be the pocket here. And I inked just this edge on one side, but I did quickly go around, make sure that there was no white showing on my edges. So that is what we need for both of those. So 2 7As on white cardstock. And then we are going to need 1 8B. So 1 8B of the light wood background. You can use whatever background design you have. If you have these small stripes or whatever background design you have, you can use that instead of the light wood. But I printed one of the light wood 8B, and I left one long tab and cut 3 tabs off, scored that long tab, and on the plain white side I put the tape, but on the other side no tape. So ink the plain white side and make sure there's no white showing on the patterned side. So you just need one of those. And then page 9C, this is the main base page for the C-sized album. I printed one of those with the light wood background, and the tape, again, this is going to be a flip. So I cut 3 of the tabs off, left the one long tab. The tape goes on the plain side, and inked. I scored and inked. So you need one of those. And then page 10D, You need 2 of page 10D, and both of them are done the exact same way. Let's see. Let me do it right way. I cut this long pocket off. We're going to be using this in a different video. So both of these you do not need, so we're going to put them aside. And they're both the small stripes, but if you only have the one background, just use it. And we left one long tab, so I cut 3 tabs off. I scored it, inked it on both sides, and put the tape on the plain side. So both of them are exactly the same. Okay, so you need 2 of 10D. And then that's the main base page for the D size album. I don't know if I said that. And then, let's see, page 14AD. This, I think I did it this way. So you need 1 of these printed onto plain cardstock, and I cut them apart. I cut 1 of these short tabs off of each one, scored the other 3, inked it up, and put tape on it. Okay, I did score the top edge. These are going to be 2 top loading pockets. So then one more thing. Page 26D. These are the double doors for the D-sized main base page. Okay, so this is what it looks like. We ended up cutting this part away because we're not going to use it in this video. But then on this one, I scored and inked those 3 edges and notched everything. So this is going to be a slim pocket. Okay, I think it's going to be this way actually. So we're going to put this aside for another video, for another section in our album. Okay, so I know that's a lot of main base pages, but this one is full of flips and pockets. So that's the beauty of having printable templates, is that you can just mix and match and add pockets and flips, and you can just keep going on, going and going and going to your heart's content, to allow as many photos or as many places for your ephemera and all of that stuff to go, and all of your pretty decorations. So it's completely up to you. So if you're following along with me, this is a lot, but it's going to be a really pretty page setup. So I think you're going to like it. Also, you'll have to excuse my voice. My allergies are I've kicked into high gear today. And I know it's because I have a lot of blooming trees in my yard. And, you know, that pollen is everywhere. It's great for the bees, but it sucks for me. So you'll have to excuse my voice. I'm sneezing and all of that, and my throat seems to be messed up. And it seems the more I talk, the worse my nose gets. So, bear with me in this video, please. Let's start with the main base page pocket. So, the one that just has the 1 tab, let's get all this out of the way. This is going to be attaching to the fin in the album. So, you want to take this one that has the tape on one side, and you want to flip it over to the side that does not have the tape on it. Matter of fact, I'm going to ink that edge up just ever so slightly, because you might be able to see that in the finished product. Most of these things I've inked up already, but just in case I haven't seen, you know, I forgot something. Alright, so then I'm going to take the pocket, and we are going to burnish these pieces down. Okay. And I'm going to use my glue stick trick. Now I'm about a week or 2 ahead of you guys in filming. Maybe not 2, maybe a week and a half. So I've seen some of your all's questions. I saw a question in I think it was my Facebook group. It may have been on my YouTube channel comments about the glue stick making it weaker. I can't remember what exactly. She was concerned that it made it weaker, that you're disturbing, you know, the the connection between the tape and the paper or something of that nature. I don't believe that's what happens. I believe it just gives you a little bit of a wiggle room, and when the glue stick dries, the tape is, the contact in the tape, what am I trying to say? I think it just makes a stronger bond. The tape ends up connecting with the paper just fine. I mean, it connects with the paper anyway. It just gives you like a half a second just in case. I mean, you guys have seen me peel it up right away. It still pulls some of the paper up sometimes. So I think it's just, it just gives you a little bit of wiggle room, and it doesn't really affect the integrity of the tape itself. Does that make sense? At least I found it's never really affected the integrity of the tape itself. I've never had an album come apart when using that trick in the long run, right? So I don't think there's a problem with it, but it might depend on where you live. It might depend on your humidity or the lack thereof, or I don't know, there could be a bazillion factors, I'm assuming, or I'm sure, that could change how your adhesive gets affected. So I don't know 100% for certainty, but in my case, I've never had any issues. But that doesn't mean that someone else may not have. Wow, that sounded weird, didn't it? Okay. All right, so I'm going to burnish this down really good. And I hope I just made sense. I feel like my head's a little cloudy today because of my allergies, but I didn't do too bad. Just a teeny bit of a little bit of an overhang. There we go. Oops. Yeah, just a itty bitty bit. Not too bad. And I am burnishing it down really good. I really want it to be good and flat. So I've never had any issues with that trick causing any issues, okay? Bottom line. Okay, so then the next thing I want to add is, I think I'm going to add the 26D, this little small pocket. I think I'm going to add this next. And again, I'm going to flip this out, and this is going to be on the opening part. This is going to be on this side. I'm going to burnish this down really good. And I'm going to use my glue stick again. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and take all of this tape off. Let's go ahead and put glue stick on all of them. And we're going to put it on the edge here. All right. Now, of course, I wouldn't want to just use a glue stick to add the pockets. That would not work. That would not stay together. I'm pretty sure that would fall apart rather easily. I don't know. I've never just tried a glue stick for attaching things like pockets and stuff. I don't see where it would be a good idea, but I do not know. All right, so then the next thing I think we're going to add is 8B. So we're going to fold the tab towards the patterned side like this. We're going to remove that tape backing. A little bit of glue stick. And we're going to come towards this side here where the tab that's going to be attaching to the fin. We're going to come over here and we're going to add this on this side. Like, oops. Look at there. One of the things I always forget to do is to check my trimming, how I cut it out. And this one actually is a little bit longer. But you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to leave it just as is. But I'm going to burnish this down really good. You might want to ink that corner, just that corner. So now we've got a little pocket. And we've got a little flip. You can see all my little notes. And then the next thing we want to add is the 9C. Again, take the tab, burnish it towards the pattern side there. Remove the tape backing. Okay. Add the glue stick, and we're going to go right on top of that exact same spot where we just placed that one. And again, you notice I didn't check to make sure it fit, but that's okay. And burnish this down. Okay, so now we got 2 flips and a pocket. Another question I was asked. Whoop, my doggy got startled. Another question I was asked if this was too heavy, if it was with all of the mats and the photos and the embellishments and the flips and flaps and pockets and inserts, and is it too heavy for the album? I've never had anything rip out of my albums. I've never seen that happen before. I've never had pages rip out. I don't toss my albums around, so I don't think that it's too heavy. My albums stand upright in a bookshelf, and they don't pull away from the spine or anything. So, but I was thinking, because the question made me think about it, I was thinking that she might be talking about, you know, like what if it rips? What if it rips on one of the edges? Which I guess can happen. You know, what if the paper, what if it just starts ripping? Then what do you do? Or what if it rips here at the base of the fin? What if it starts ripping? So I thought about that, and then I thought, well, maybe I should show you guys how to fix that if that does happen, or something you can do to reinforce that maybe. So maybe I'll do that. But I've never had any issues with it, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. I've just never had any issues with it. I mean, this is, you know, your albums are pieces of art. You know, you need to treat them as such. And I can't see even people that are looking through them being really physical with them and throwing them around or anything to make them rip. So, I don't know. It's just food for thought. So I thought I would share that with you. And I wanted to answer a question too as well. All right, so small stripes. I'm going to do the same thing. The small stripes is going to be on the inside. The tab burnished towards the small stripe. Remove the tape backing. A little bit of glue stick. And same thing, right on top of this where we just put that other one. So one thing about having the patterned paper or having the background design printed on one side, that does eliminate a layer of thickness for matting. So there's that. There is one advantage to printing. You could have printed directly onto the patterned cardstock that you purchased, and you know that could be this page, that piece of patterned cardstock. You could have done that as well if you're worried about the weight or the bulk of something like that. Okay. Did I ink the last one? See, if I don't do it right away, I'm afraid I'm going to forget. I don't know if I did or not, but we're going to grab it just in case. Okay. So then the last page, oh, I've even got, see, I have to make notes. Put my magnet savers on this side. We're going to do the same thing. Burnish this towards this side. Take the tape backing. A little bit of glue stick, except we're going to come onto this side. So we're going to be placing this on top of this little pocket here. So we're going to lay this down. Perfect. Right? Let me grab that corner. So we have flap, 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 pocket. So there's going to be magnets to keep this closed, okay? So then the last addition is these two 14AD this one goes on that pocket. See, magnets, I have to keep notes. So one of the pockets is going to go on this one, and one of them is going to go on this one. So we're going to burnish these tabs down. And we're going to move the tape backing, and we're going to put some glue stick and attach them down. We're going to do both pockets the exact same way. Okay, so check that out. Look at the thickness right there. Just from all of those layers that we've just added. Now, I will tell you, I have done this in my mock-up that I have of this album, this size album. I did the exact same thing. Well, a different little bit of a top layer here, but that many layers, and it's totally fine. It's perfectly fine. The weight of it's fine. Everything's fine. So, I did the exact same thing with all of the different layers. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our magnets, and you're only going to need 2 magnets and 2 magnet savers for this page setup. But I did want to tell you, I finally found some on Amazon. I ordered and finally received, I say finally, it only took maybe a week, I don't know. But I added them to my Amazon list. So I got 2 sizes. I got 1/4 inch. Which I thought might be good for things like envelope closures and things like that. I don't know. We'll see. 1/4 inch, because then you could possibly use 2, or for smaller envelopes anyway. You could possibly use 2, or maybe not even 2. You could use 1 magnet and a magnet saver, and it's not as big. But we're not going to be using those right now. And then I also got the 3/8 of an inch size, which is the same as what we've been using, but I thought I would go ahead and test them out. I haven't even tested them, but I have added them to my Amazon list because I'm assuming they were going to be just as good. They're the same type of magnets. So if you'd like to shop from Amazon, wow, it was magnetizing through my finger. That is amazing. Magnetizing. Okay. So I'm going to use 2 magnets, and I've already marked where I'm going to put them. And I think I'll just use my tape, runner tape. Also, once again, I want to point out, someone asked again, they asked me if they had a specific tape they found in Amazon, if it was what I use, and it's not. I have not been able to find the proper tape that's not the Scotch brand for my ATG, for my pink tape glider. There is a very specific way that this white piece needs to be made in order for it to work properly. Now, I've used the one that's not specifically made for this tape glider. And it's okay, but it messes up a lot, and it's real wobbly, and it tears all the time, and it's not the same. I have not been able to find it on Amazon. That doesn't mean you can't. I just haven't been able to find it. So I have a link down below for where I get my replacement tape at a really good price. Okay, so I'm just trying to remember to answer questions. Oh, I should make sure, I guess, really quick. I almost set that right on top of there. That there's nothing that's going to, so it's going to be around here. I don't think that, no. There's nothing it's going to react to. Oh, maybe over here. I don't think, let's see. No, it's not going to. But just in case, maybe I'll have it on here to where if it does, it's not going to be polar opposite. Is that the right way to say it? Polar opposite? Okay. You know how where it like pushes against each other? I don't want that. Whoops. Of course it was going to do that. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what I'm thinking. My little magnet savers here. They're jumping out. So the more magnets I have in here, the more or it jumps out of their little spots. Alright, so I am going to use some magnet savers. I haven't decided if I'm going to use the big ones or not. I mean, I can, but let's not use those big ones. Let's use the, I have links down below to where I got all of these different little things, the different sizes, if you all want to check them out. I also have a video specifically where I talk about all these different magnet savers and things. I will link that up here in the cards and down below in the description box if you want to check it out. That way I don't have to repeat myself about every time I use them. People ask me questions about my magnet savers. So there's a video if you want to check it out. Alright, so I just put tape runner on the back side and it should be enough. Yeah. Because we're going to be putting photo mats on this page to hide those. So I'm not really concerned about that. So those are the only two magnets that we're going to need. Let's see, what next? I think we'll go ahead and start matting the pages. We may not be able to do the inserts today, but I think I've got all the mats prepped and ready to go. Okay, so for this front setup, I printed, these are two, I printed two of the same thing. These are not the pastel pink, but these are the Neutral Vintage Collage that are available in my Etsy shop. This is one of the patterns, and I thought what I would try to do, this is just printed onto regular copy paper, nothing super exciting. I thought I would try to continue the pattern from one to the other, so I needed two to be able to do that. So I'm also going to need the mat for page 10D. Just really quick, or I'm sorry, for page 14 AD, I'm going to need the mat for that. So, I think what I'll do is I'm going to, since this is just copy paper, I am going to put that tape side up so I don't rip this paper. And I think I'm just going to start in the corner here where you can see the pattern. And I'm going to trace around it like this. And then I will cut along that edge where the pattern stops. And then I think I will, well, let me cut that one first. Or maybe, let's do it like this. Okay. Open this up. This is a Fiskars paper trimmer. I'm going to put these two together. I'm going to lay them right on top of each other, and I'm going to cut this bottom part off, this white part together. Let's just do them both together like that, and then I'm going to cut this white border off on this side like that, and then I am going to cut the height of these off, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I'm going to put this with the stuff that in my crafty companion tray. I'm going to put them in stuff that we can use at another date. My scraps. Okay. So the top one I'm going to cut where I put the pencil line. Like that. Put that in my crafty tray. And then, now I need to figure out where I need to cut. Because see, I figured that would go there, right? So now I need to try to figure out how I can get it to look like it's going straight across. So I think what I'll do is use the, I'm just laying this, I'm matching it up like this. And I'm just going to mark let me get that on there correctly. I'm going to mark the edge. I'll show you. Sorry about my voice there. So I'm going to match it up, and then I'm going to mark the edge of this page onto my paper. Right there. Okay. So then I'm going to take my template. I'm going to match it up to that edge, that mark, that pencil mark that I just had. And I'm going to trace along both sides here. And let's see if I got it right. Trim that away. Trim this away. Oh, I did a pretty good job. Can you guys see that? That worked out fantastic. So it just looks like a continuation of that page. Okay, put these in my crafty tray. So I'm going to set this aside. I think I'm going to use this for this mat. Because I'm just going to use a piece. I'm going to ink these up really quick, and I'll be right back. I have inked these up. They are ready to go. So they're going to go on there like so. And then, this was one of the large cutoff pieces. I took that template there, and this is the back side. So this was a long piece. Actually, I had two large cutoff pieces because I messed one paper up. See, look, I even said messed this page up, but I kept it because I can still use it. I forgot what I was doing, but I completely messed it up. And that's okay. I'll just use it for something else. But I did use the large cutoff pieces in this setup. Just so you know. So I traced that template out, and I just cut off two that are going to go there on the top of that pocket, like that. So it's going to kind of look like that. I didn't cut I didn't even measure. I just kind of marked the width that I needed. Okay, so then there's some scraps left over. So with the scraps, I fussy cut some of these elements out. That's not it. Some of these, whoops. I'll get it right here in just a second. Some of these flowers. So this was probably the piece that I messed up. And that was probably left over from that piece. I just fussy cut these two flower pieces out. And then I inked them up. And I thought, how fantastic would they look on either side here. Like this. It just took that collage, that neutral collage paper, and just took it up a notch. Just really dressed it up to look really, really special. What do you guys think? Do you like that? I put these scraps, put this piece in my crafty companion tray, and these I'm going to put back in my scrapper keeper folder because these are the same size as the large cutoff pieces. And when I want to be able to find those pieces easily because some templates are made specifically for that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and glue everything down. I think first I'm going to glue these down to these pages. I think it'll be easier because I'm going to use art glitter glue. And I'm going to just go around and add art glitter glue all the way around these edges. I'm not going to have them like as a tuck or anything. I'm going to see that on this paper there's like a scroll design, and then there's like the script there. So I am just going to, oh, you know what, I was thinking about adding some foil to these. Oh shoot. Well, we'll see if we can't do it after the fact. Or Take it off quick, 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 quick. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. We're gonna put foil on them first. Okay. Hold the phone. Let's see if we can get that to dry really fast. Hold the phone. Oops. Yep, we're gonna foil these pieces the same way we've been foiling. I'm just gonna take my glue stick. Look at my paper. Look at how crazy. This is my foil paper. And whoa, don't want to catch it on fire. From what I'm hearing is not all foil paper is created equal. So be sure you get the kind that is heat transferable. I don't know if that's the exact way to say that. This is what I'm using. It says reactive foil. It doesn't say heat transferable, but it definitely comes off the backing. I don't know if there's other foil out there that doesn't do that, but I'm going to take my glue stick and we're going to ink our edges just like we have in all the other times we've done this. Ink my edges with my glue stick, and then we're going to take the foil and press it down on top. Okay, now let's glue it down. Whoa. Try to go right back where I had it before I peeled it up. Whoops. Okay. So now it looks like that. So pretty. All right, let's do this one. All right, so let's just go ahead and put them down. I'm going to use some tape runner tape. Look at how awesome that looks, you guys. Okay, so let's put these down, and I think I'll just use the tape runner tape again. Just for good measure, I'll put some in the middle there. This is not one of those pockets you're going to be able to see all the way down. I just can't imagine where anyone would just sit there and go, ooh, you know, hold it upright and look down. But I guess you could if you wanted to. And let's do this one. Should I have it like this? Or should I have it like this? Let's do it like that. Wow. Okay, so we got the front all matted, good to go. Doesn't that look cool? Look how good it's going to look next to this. Right, that's where it's going to be. So we're going to have some really cool inserts there, and there's just a little foil accent, just like there's a foil accent on this page. Right, looks super good. I know these don't look like they match, but they do. And on camera, the flowers are showing more like red than they are like this pink color. So, interesting. But but they match in person. So on camera, I don't know why they're showing a little different. But yeah, look at how pretty that is. Okay, so then let's move on to the next pages. Okay, so for the next page, so for this page, I have cut out, I've already traced the mat for this page. So this is page 9C. So I got the mat and I traced this onto some of the, I think it's number 25. This is the shades of color. This is also available in my Etsy shop. Number 25, I printed that out onto plain cardstock and then traced the mat and inked it up. If you don't have the shades and you want to use the vintage green, that you can also do that too. That's what we've done previous in this album. But I wanted to use my shades of color. So we're going to attach this down here because that'll be really pretty when you've got this part open. See how nice that looks next to each other. I haven't figured out what photo mats I'm going to use yet, but or what I'm going to do on each page yet, but I have figured out how I'm going to mat them. So let's attach that down. This is number 25. Yep, wrote that on the back. I'm trying to keep myself organized because I've already prepped the rest of the mats while I was off. And I'm just going to mat this simple, easy, like that. And then next up is 8B. This one I used the pattern paper. This was this page, and I got the mat out for page 8B. I'm going to put these aside, and we're going to mat that. So once again, look at the nice contrast. So that's kind of what you're looking for when you're going through picking out your mats, is you want to check the contrast, because this is going to be almost like a waterfall situation. Except it's flaps that are just shorter. And traced it out, inked it up, and let's add it to that page. So this is just the mat. Looks good. And then the very back here, I'll have the mat for page 7A. I traced onto some coffee stained paper. One side's lighter than the other. This is a little bit darker. This is the lighter side. I'm using the lighter side. So I do not have a tutorial. That was another question. I do not have a tutorial on how I do my coffee stained paper. I do not sell coffee stained paper, but I do have a link down below for Etsy sellers that do make the coffee stained paper and will ship it to you. And then I also grabbed another sheet of this and I traced the mat for 26D out onto that. So I am going to attach these down. They're inked up, ready to go. I don't think this has an up or down. And I'm going to attach these down with the same tape runner. So if you want to know why I don't normally tape down that edge when I stick stuff into a pocket like that, that's why. You have to fight it and fight it and fight it until it finally gets in there, especially loose. This is just copy paper, so it's not stiff, so it's not going to shove into that pocket nicely. But anyway, I manhandled it and I got it in there. So we are good to go. Okay, so boop, 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 boop. Okay, so I think we're going to go ahead and stick this into the album, into the fin, and then we will stop there because the inserts are going to take a minute to do, and I haven't figured out what I'm going to do on each one of these pages yet. I may not do anything. I don't know. We'll see. But I think we're going to go ahead and add it into the album, and then we'll call it a day. Or we'll call it a video for now. And the next video we'll do the inserts, I think. Or actually, you know what we might do? The next video, there's something I want to do with the mold, the mold that we bought. So I think I'll do that next before we do the inserts, because we're going to be using them on the inserts. So that's probably what I'll do. We'll see. We shall see. Okay, let's add this into the album. We're just going to flip this over and take that tape off. I'm going to use liquid glue on this to make sure that there is a really good connection that is not going to come apart. So once liquid glue dries, it is done. It is a done. And I'm going to smooth that out just a little. And I'm going to turn my album this way. And we're going to touch it without going over the score. Gonna touch it right down. Like that. Oh, let me put my stopper topper back on here. I have a link down below if you want to check out the stopper toppers. Michelle made some just for us. So if you want to check those out, link down below. Okay. I'm gonna push this down. Burnish, burnish, burnish. And now we've got that attached to the fin. Okay. All right. That is all we're going to do today. So do let me know what you think. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you like this page setup. If you're going to give it a try, leave me a comment. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Hit that bell notification. Then there's a drop down menu that will give you options if you want to be notified all the time or if you want to be notified some of the time. I don't know why they make it so hard, but anyway, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to notify you when I upload a video. It doesn't always work, but neither here nor there. But that's it. That's all I have for you guys. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.